All right, Shalom. We're going to start by saying, Kahalal, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, KaKaDash. Double honors to the Apostle of Israel, aka the Apostle of Great Millstone, and peace and love always to all the Akim. Continue to preach his truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, I'm the brother Ali Yashai, and basically I came across this article earlier today from Fox News, and I'm getting right into it. This is about biometric facial recognition. And the title of the article is from Homeland Security, and it reads, DHS, which is Department of Homeland Security, rule expands facial recognition to all U.S. ports of entry for foreign travelers. Now, if you remember, back in the time of the EMIC, the C-19 EMIC, the whole thing with traveling was you had to get the jump shot. Now, brother's been saying that jump shot was the means and the catalyst for what they want to do right now and bringing in the B system and ultimately bringing in the mark, the MOTB, which the RFID mark will see it. They were saying that in order to go back to work, you needed to get the jump shot, or needed to travel, you needed to get the jump shot, or to get back in the country, you needed the jump shot, so on and so forth. And they're doing the same thing with all this digital ID and all this facial recognition, because now they're getting more, they're bringing in the B system more because we at the actual end. So now it's time for Esau to bring out the main thing of the end of his kingdom, which is the beast system, and ultimately is going to be the mark. All right. So, it says CBP is extending airport biometric screening to land and sea borders starting December 26th. And December 26th is what? It's a day after Christmas. Day after so-called Christmas. Right now, it's the so-called this fuck ass holiday, Halloween. You got a bunch, all of the usual bullshit, the trick or treating and all that. But whatever they're at, this is what this is about. Because ultimately, this is prophecy, man. This is something that the men of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI have been warning about for years, man. And now it's here, and they're getting every day they're getting just closer and closer to ushering in the beast system and then ushering in that mark, man. And that's ultimately Revelation the 13th chapter, man. Yo, like it's what else explains it? All these other nations are taking a part of it. All these other nations, their gods and their religions, they didn't have prophets warning of these things before ahead of time. But what? The scriptures telling these things ahead of time. Because what? The Lord said what? Things written aforetime were written for our learning. Now, the men of the Lord, the prophets, have been breaking down what the prophets of old wrote and things that they spoke of, and now we're relaying it to how it's tying into the time we're in right now. All right? But get into this article. So it says the Department of Homeland Security has issued new guidance requiring foreign nationals, including green card holders and other non-U.S. citizens living legally in the country, to be photographed when they enter or leave the United States. And that's what? That sounds like what? A man shall desire to go into a city and not be able, because now they're saying if you don't have facial, you have to do it to leave or enter the country. Just like they said in Europe that the people traveling from the U.S., they have to have a digital ID. You see how they bringing in these rules and stipulations for regular travel and regular things? Then they're now putting stipulations to it. And ultimately, what's going to be the ultimate stipulation is going to be what? You're going to have this RFID mark will see it in your body to travel. You're going to need that to work. You're going to need that. You're going to need that to go about in your day-to-day life, and for the rest of Esau's kingdom. It says CBP currently employs facial recognition at airport checkpoints. But the updated rule will broaden its use to cover every U.S. entry and exit point by air, land, and sea. All right? It said the change will broaden CBP's biometric screening program to include more comprehensive image and data collection aimed at tightening verification procedures and preventing document fraud. See? That was the whole point with all this shit with the illegal immigrants. Now, and what are more likely they're going to do? They're going to say, hey, you know what? If you want to come in the country, you gotta get this. You gotta get the biometric, all this biometric shit. You gotta get a digital ID. You gotta get your facial recognition. And soon enough, they're gonna do it for the regular people that's from America and so-called legal American citizens. You're gonna have to get with Esau's. Remember, say he's gonna cause it all. And every day he's bringing all this biometric shit, all the digital ID, all this automated shit. He's bringing more and more technology into day-to-day life. Yeah, it was cool. The technology as far as recreation and TVs and iPads and iPods and smartphones and all, but now he's bringing it into everyday life to where you're gonna need to be in league with this new system. You're gonna need to be in league with biometric technology. You're gonna need a digital ID to work. You're gonna need biometric, all that technology in your body to buy and sell. And every day, and now it's what? Every day we're getting closer to the devil bringing in that's the final part of the plan. And ultimately it's prophecy of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because it's Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI that's having this devil do this. It says, this final rule amends Department of Homeland Security DHS regulations to provide that DHS may require all aliens to be photographed when entering or exiting the United States, and may require non-exempt aliens to provide other biometrics. A summary of the new policy in the Federal Register reads. It says the final rule also amends the regulations to remove the references to pilot programs and the port limitation to permit collection of biometrics from aliens departing from airports, land ports, seaports, or any other authorized point of departure. In addition, DHS is requesting comments on the specific collection process as well as costs and benefits for new transportation modalities. It continued. It says the rule also lists previous age exemptions, authorizing facial recognition scans for travelers younger than 14 and older than 79. So I guess they had it to where if you were younger than 14, you didn't have to get it, whatever. But now they're saying, fuck all that. Because they want to, remember, they're trying to be like the Most High. They're trying to calculate for all the souls on the earth. So yeah, get your facial recognition. Get this biometrics. It says the exemptions in the current regulations for biometric collection based on the age of the individual, i.e. under 14 and over 79, were based on technological limitations on collecting fingerprints from children and elderly persons, as well as traditional law enforcement policies and other policies, such as not running criminal history background checks on children, the policy stated. These exemptions are not applicable to CBP's facial comparison-based biometric entry-exit program, as the use of biometrics has expanded beyond criminal history background checks and now plays a vital role in identity verification and management. So they want to identify everyone, man. And what's going to be what's going to be the ultimate thing that they have to identify people by? It's not going to be a biometric scan, but it's going to be what? It's going to be something that's in your body, because that's ultimately what they're trying to advance to. They're doing all of this, and then they're going to advance to what? Having to get biometric technology put in your body, which people on the earth already have. It says in combating the trafficking of children, it added, furthermore, internal CBP studies of biometric facial match accuracy, historical matching data, examination of biometric matching of ages under 14 and over 79, and CBP standard operating procedures associated with these ages no longer support exempting facial biometric collection from these populations. Exemptions based on age will continue to apply to biometrics other than facial images. And it says the new rules are slated to take effect on December 26th. On December 26th. How convenient, a day after Christmas, when all this holiday travel. All right, now I don't know what's going to be of November because all the shit with the snaps and the food stamps, which tomorrow is November 1st. So we're going to see how that goes. You already had people, there's already some people caught stealing out of the grocery store. It was this one chick, so-called black woman, seeing that she was caught stealing some meat out of the grocery store. So that means that it's already taking its toll with the whole thing of no food stamps coming in for this month. And the start of the month is tomorrow, November 1st, Saturday. Okay, and it says the new rule comes as part of the Trump administration's broader immigration enforcement agenda, which focuses on expanding border surveillance and tightening entry-level requirements. See, there goes that cruel Lord. There goes that, hey, a man shall desire to go into a city and not be able. Because aside from all the chaos, these devils going to be having shit. Like we always talked about these devils having checkpoints. You can't come into sin unless you have the proper documentation. And what's going to be the proper documentation in the future? Your proper biometric scanning documentation. Let me get that real quick. Oops. Yeah, second address. Oops. Now, when you go into second address chapter 15 and the 17th verse, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Now, when you read the previous verses, it talks about basically the sedition among men. It talks about the chaos and basically the plagues that's about to come upon the inhabitants of Egypt, which is symbolically, America is symbolically Egypt. But it's going to come and this is what's going to be bringing it. This devil, the whole new system, he's bringing in a new system to where everything is going to be super surveillance. And what ultimate surveillance is there? And like I said, what's the ultimate surveillance they're going to have? It's going to be the MOTB. Where you get all this biometric technology, you're going to get that implanted in a little thing, like a little grain of rice, implanted into your body. That's this devil's plan. That's his ultimate goal. Oh my goodness. Hold on, what was I thinking of? Oh, matter of fact, hold up. Because while Esau's doing this is we're just getting closer to his end. Where should I start? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14. And I'm going to start at verse 4. And it reads, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Now, modern day king of Babylon is Donald Trump, or the president of the United States, POTUS. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? And that golden city today is America. All right? That's the golden city of Esau's kingdom, man, America. Because he used America to basically expand his wickedness on a broad scale throughout the earth. Excuse me. Verse 5 of Isaiah chapter 14, it says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, man. And that's what he's doing to Esau right now. Even though Esau's coming with all this, oh, you gotta do this, and he's doing this and it seems like he can't be stopped. But as E is continuing to be more cruel and have more wrath, that's just what? It says what? He know if he had but a short time. So that's why the Lord says what? The devil shall come down upon you with great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. He know that his time is short. These devils know that their kingdom is up. The jig is up. And it says verse 6, and here's the point. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6, and it reads, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And that's Esau. And who did he give a major continual stroke to? Jake. But he's doing it to all. Look what he's doing over there in Gaza. Look what he's doing over there to Venezuela. Look what he's doing to Jake over here in America. Look how the devil is moving throughout the earth. He's moving like a straight dickhead. A straight bastard. An evil bastard. And he can't help himself. He can't help himself. He's only doing what the Lord programmed him to do. But the Lord said what? He said what? He's broken the staff for the wicked. That's why nobody fears America like they once did. That's why they keep trying to be on this bully shit so they can impose a force on people, but people are not falling for it anymore. And that's why they get people like Venezuela. Like Venezuela's a superpower. Yeah, they got super resources over there, but they're not a superpower. Here it is that Russia and China, they said that, yo, what's good, but you don't want no smoke with them. You want smoke with Venezuela. Now, we know ultimately why they're doing it, but it's like, yo, come on. It says, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6, continuing, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Man, that's a continual stroke, man. Keep coming with new rules and regulations. The prices of shit going up, up and up. Taxes. All the shit this devil is doing is what? Is a continual stroke, man. It says, well, he smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, man. That's what these devils are doing, man. A continual stroke is wrath. The devil's coming out upon you with great wrath because he knows if he had but a short time. Yeah, when everything was all good, he was awesome. Yeah, you know, oh, that's good. Yeah, chummy. But now that he sees his time is up, that's why he's being this cruel. Misery loves company. He know he about to go down, so he trying to take as many people as he can with him. Especially Israelites, man. Because he's gonna come real hard at Jake soon. He's already coming hard at Jake, but he's gonna come even worse. Those horns are gonna stick out even more. And that's why also what the Lord has these nations. What they're getting ready for war. They're getting the world every day. The nations are getting ready for, including America, Esau. They're getting ready for war. You got some nations already at war. Hell, America's already at war, and America's been at war damn near its whole existence. But we're coming down to the wire. We're coming down to the third woe. You got America testing nukes. You got Russia just testing some nukes. China doing some shit with nukes. Everybody doing shit with nukes. It's just a bunch of. The spirit of war is out here, man. We're in the time. Matter of fact, let me get that. But then we got people in America doing what? Trick or treating. You got like literally World War III is at the door. It's knocking at the door. You got the whole market. You got the beast system, the market of beasts knocking at the door. But people are what? Trick or treating. Still stuck in the ways of this bullshit kingdom, man. Still stuck in these pagan rituals, man. Benefiting them nothing. And a bunch of bullshit, poison food. Ain't even real. Can't even call candy real food. Got a bunch of bioengineered ingredients, GMO ingredients in this shit now. That's why probably everybody's all freaking sick. But yet people are still eating the bullshit. People are still off the same bullshit. That's what the Lord said. What? Talking to Israelites, mainly the Israelites as far as the rituals of the heathen, because these heathens gonna do what the fuck whatever. Oh yeah. Oh no, that's verse. There's 3. So there's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, and it reads, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, and a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck. And the Lord planted Esau's kingdom. Now he's plucking it up. It's lived its life, comparing it to a plant. The Lord planted Esau's kingdom during the time of the Greek Empire, Alexander. He planted it. It grew. It sprouted. It became a great plant. But now it's time, what? It's time for it to be plucked. And that's what the Lord is doing to Esau. That's what he's doing to America right now. He's plucking it. That's what he's doing to Esau's rule. He's plucking it. And who's next? Who rules next? Jake, Israel. So-called minorities, the people that you thought were not, the people that were thugs and gangsters and drug dealers and so on and so forth, YNs, immigrants. Those are your future kings on the earth. Those are your future kings and priests, daughters of Zion. that you oppressing, man. That's why I'm like, yo, it ain't much time for this place. This place has not much time left. All right? And it's being plucked. The Lord is plucking this bitch. And it says, pluck up that which is planted, because Esau's kingdom it's been planted. It's been planted. And it's grown as a fruitful plant for a nice little bit of time. But now it's time for the plant to die. All right? And now it's time for it to be plucked up. And you're not gonna have another kingdom to be planted. The next kingdom to go is the kingdom of Israel, and that's gonna be an immovable kingdom. World without end. See, this Esau's world, but this world has an end. And we're at the end. All right, and it says a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Now what's happening right now? Esau's kingdom, it's time for his kingdom to be broke down. But what kingdom is being built up? Jake's. The kingdom of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, with the Israelites on top, as the top nation. And going to be the top nation from there on out. For eternity, man. Our kingdom is not going to stop. It says what? It's called an immovable kingdom. But right now, the Lord is moving Esau out the fucking way. And in the process of what he's doing, he's having Esau come with that wrath. Because he knows he had but a short time. And it says, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 4. And it says, a time to weep and a time to laugh. Because now it's time for the lovers of this world to weep. The rulers of this world, it's time for them to weep. Because this world is now at an end. All right, and it says a time to laugh. Now, who's going to be laughing? Who's going to be laughing? You were laughing at us at one time, Esau, but now you're not laughing too much now. Now it's time for what? It's time for starting with the elect of Israel. It's time for us to laugh. Lord, wouldn't it be part of the elect? Now, seeing our oppressors be judged, man. The Lord said what? What did he say about in Zephaniah to Moab and Ammon? Says what? Because you magnified yourselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. All you nations did. All you nations, you magnified yourselves against the people of the Most High, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and you think that nothing's going to happen to you. You think that y'all just got that? Oh, that's just how life went. That's just how the cookie crumbled, and that's it. But your nation gonna find out. Hey, a lot of our people are gonna find out. The non-believers of our people that thought this was a joke, that thought this wasn't the truth, that shrugged their shoulders at YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, that despised his word, that they loathed his law. You're gonna feel ashamed too. But you're just lucky you're from the seed of Jacob. But continuing on, it says, I'm gonna jump down to verse 6. And it says what? It says, I'm going to read verse 5, and it says, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Because now it's in the time of refrain from embracing. People aren't embracing each other like that anymore. And if they do, yeah, whatever. But it's like, it's not the same as it once was. It's not the happy-go-lucky time in America that it once was. Shit getting real. Hell, hey, think about the whole thing with the SNAP and the food stamps. They thought that, people thought that it's just going to be forever. People thought that, yo, man, what you going to be able to, this is going to be our nest egg for how we going to get food. Relying on Esau. Hey, woe to thee that go to Egypt for help. Because now what did the Lord have Esau do? He had cut that shit off. Now, we don't know how it's going to go. But as of right now, they're saying that no one's going to get no SNAP benefits tomorrow on the 1st. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 6, and it says a time to get and a time to lose. Now, who is getting though? Esau did get he got rulership. He got a rulership. But now it's time for him to lose it. And now it's time for Jake to now get his shine, get his time. But here, what people don't understand is when the Israelites come back into power under YAHAWASHI, that's who's going to rule forever. There's going to be nobody else to rule after that. It's going to go back to the days of old and even more better. We're going to be immortals. We're going to have superhuman abilities. We're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments on our inward parts. We're not going to sin. We're not going to go off. We're going to be righteous judges on the earth through the law of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. That's what's coming to the earth. That's the future. No matter what these Christians say, no matter what these other nations say, they don't even say shit. They talk about a whole multipolar rulership where everybody going to rule. Nah, ain't gonna be no multipolar nothing. It's gonna be the laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh BAHASHAM Shai, and Yahweh Shai is gonna rule, and the nation that's gonna rule under him are the Israelites, the seed of Jacob. It says a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away. But who's being casted away now? Esau. See, he did. He had a kingdom, but now his kingdom, the Lord said, nah, it's at its end. What did the Lord say? Better is the beginning of a thing than the end, I believe, or if I'm butchering it. We're at the end of this thing. We're at the end of what? Esau's kingdom. Because there's a set nation that's ruling right now over all the other peoples of the earth. And that's Esau, which goes back into Genesis, where it said that Esau was going to get the fatness of the earth. And we're in that time right now. But we're also in the time of what? 2 Ezra 6 and 9, where it says what? For Esau, the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. Esau ruled last after all other nations. Satan is loose out of his prison. That was these days we're in right now. Well, leading up to it was in the Renaissance period, but like still, it was still part of Esau's kingdom. And now it's time for the Lord to put his ass back in prison, put his ass back at the bottom where he belongs. All right? They've been ruling in wickedness for a long time, and now it's time for them to pay the piper, man. And these devils know what's up. These higher up Edomites, they know what time it is. They know who we are. They know who they are. And they know what's up. But anyway, I'm going to jump down to verse 8. And it says, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8. And it reads, a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. But we're in a time of what? We're in a time of war. Esau's at war with the people. Esau's at war with Jake. The nations are all at war with each other. Esau's at war with himself. The other nations are what? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. What did Yahweh Shai say? It should be wars and rumors of wars, wars and threats of wars. There's a bunch of threats going on. You got America threatening Russia, Russia threatening America, China threatening America, America threatening China, India, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Everybody's threatening each other because we're in a time of war. And the Lord is now what? He's now what? Rising up to the prey. And now his determination is to what? To gather the nations. Let me get that. Because this are the days we've been waiting for, man. So it's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8, and it reads, it says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation. Now, who is them? Those are the other nations. And who's at the top of that list? Esau, Edom. The so-called Caucasian people. They're in power right now. And they're about to lose power. It says, even all my fierce anger for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And that's what those nuclear missiles, man. That's why the Lord got these nations getting on a go with getting these nukes ready. They can't miss a beat. They can't. Time is of the essence. The Lord said what? The time is nigh. The day is nigh. It is nigh. The day the heathen is upon the Lord. The day the Lord is upon all the heathen. For what you did to the Israelites. Especially you Idumeans. You're numero uno. And now you see your grasp of your rulership slipping away. I don't know how much the elites are feeling, but you can see through these regular around the way so-called white people, you can see that they're not in the best of spirits right now, even though Trump is in office and all this MAGA, but it's still not curing nothing. So what the scriptures say, it says what? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. It's going to take more than some slick talking businessman to bring this place back. But you can't bring this place back. The time is up for this place. The Lord said what? It was a golden cup in the Lord's hand, but it's not anymore. It's now time for we're now at its end. It's ran its course. And these devils don't know how to handle it. They can't process it. So I'm gonna jump down to verse 13 because this is what it's about. This is about the Lord's elect, man. Because in the midst of all this chaos and all this stuff happening, the Lord is what? Going to deliver his elect. The Lord has his prophets out here, and now the Lord is going to deliver his elect out of here, I should say. So this is the book of Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 13, and it says, the remnants of Israel shall not do iniquity. It said the remnants of Israel shall not do iniquity. What's the remnant? The elect. Starting with the 144,000. Nor speak lies, neither shall deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. They ain't talking about them small heads, because they're still on some afraid shit right now. They talking about they got to flee the land. Getting all bent out of shape, there's all anti-S this, anti-S that. Why are y'all so why are y'all so sensitive? You're supposed to be the sons of God. You're supposed to be, you're in your rulership, and you worried about what people say about you. Verse 14 of Zephaniah chapter 3 says, sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel, be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Zion. Who's the daughter of Jerusalem? It says daughter of Jerusalem, excuse me. Daughter of Jerusalem is who? The Israelites. Symbolically, that's talk about the nation of Israel when you see daughter of Zion or daughter of Jerusalem. It says, verse 15, it said, the Lord hath taken away thy judgments, he hath cast out thine enemy, the king of Israel. Even the Lord is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. And that's the times we're coming into right now. Because once the Lord takes Esau out of power, we're not going to see evil no more. Because that means YAHAWASHI is back. Once the devil brings in the Sihib, once he starts doing certain things, this place is done. It's like officially done, officially closed. The door shall be shut on his corporation known as America and Esau's kingdom. There's no more moves after that. That's why we need, keep this shit going. Keep on getting these nukes ready. Keep on getting your biometric scanning, facial recognition, digital ID. This has to go down. The YAHAWASHI, who the world called Jesus, he said what? These things must come to pass. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 16, and it says, in that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, which is the people before a place, fear thou not, and Zion, let not thy hands be slack. And you go to the NLT, it says, Zephaniah 3 and 16 in the NLT, it says, on that day, the announcement to Jerusalem will be, cheer up, Zion, don't be afraid. And we're supposed to cheer up right now, because seeing these prophecies come to pass, we're supposed to be rejoicing at these things, man. Yeah, like day-to-day life sucks still here, because we're still in captivity. But the silver lining is, each day that passes, we're getting closer to being out of captivity. And time is going to keep moving forward of us getting closer to our kingdom, and these devils getting further from theirs, getting further from their rulership, and the rest of these heathens that's ruling alongside with them. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17, it says, the Lord thy God, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. But who is thee? The Israelites, his people. His one and only chosen nation, which are the seed of Jacob. The descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the Lord's people. Those are that's the Lord's people. Continuing on, it says, verse 18, it says, I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. Now, who is sorrowful right now? The Israelites, man. Starting with the elect, because we know what we're supposed to be. We know what we're supposed to, we know we're capable of. We know what we're supposed to be. Because we now remember ourselves in the land of our captivity. Now Jake knows that they're the Israelites. For a time in America, none of us knew we were Israelites. We were discontinued from our heritage, but the Lord said what? In that same breath, you shall remember yourselves. In that same captivity, you shall remember yourselves. And that's when Esau started getting, that's when they started getting exposed, because the truth came out. It said, I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Verse 19, it says, behold, and here, this is one of my favorite joints right here. It says, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19, it says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. Now, who's afflicting us right now? It's them Idumeans. They're afflicting the Israelites. along with the rest of these nations, because they what? They said they ruled alongside with E. The nations were made rich, they lived deliciously with the whore. But who owned the whore? Idumea. And all these other nations, they come over here to get rich, and what? Jacob's at the bottom. So y'all got a lot to answer for it too. And it says, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that were driven out, because we were driven out of our land. And it says, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Now, isn't this a land we've been put to shame? This is where we got the worst shame. That's why on this side, what a man shall be like more precious than fine gold. That's gonna happen on this side in this land. Once this shit starts getting real hectic, once it starts getting real chaotic. This is verse 20, Zephaniah chapter 3, and it says, at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth. When I turn back your captivity, which what we're still in right now, he's going to turn it back. It says, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. Which means, well, these other nations are going to see us get out of captivity. They ain't going to see themselves go into captivity. You see how that works? You saw the downfall of the Israelites, but now you about to see the come up of the Israelites. And the come up started once the Lord gave the Israelites back his name. And then the truth came out. And after the truth flourished, that what happened? This kingdom is going down. And now the truth has flourished for all the time. What? Since the 60s, then the YouTube 2007, and then it just went full throttle, man. So now we have what? This devil got to bring out he got to play all his cards now. Because now it's prophecy. The Lord said what? He said the apostles last. So once the apostles were set up, once the prophets came out in the kingdom, that means that kingdom didn't have much time afterwards. All right. Actually, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to read verse 19 and 20 in the NLT. So there's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 19 in the NLT, and it says, and I will deal severely with all who have oppressed you. He says, I will deal severely with all that oppress you. Did not Esau oppress us? He said he's going to deal severely. So Esau is number one Idumea is the number one at that list. Along with the rest of you other nations, man. You exalted yourselves high. You exalted yourselves higher against the children of the Lord of the people of the Lord of hosts, man. The one true living God's chosen people on the earth. You afflicted, you oppressed, and still are oppressing. You're still oppressing them. You haven't stopped, but YAHAWASHI about to stop you. Anyway, continuing on. So it says, and I will deal severely with all who have oppressed you. I will save the weak and helpless ones. And we're the weak and helpless ones. We have nothing. It says, I will bring together those who were chased away. I will give glory and fame to my former exiles, wherever they have been mocked and shamed. And we've been mocked and shamed, especially here, in America, but throughout the four corners of the earth. But mainly, specifically, the worst of it all was in America, the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, where we were mocked and put to shame and oppressed severely. We were oppressed severely by these devils, man. And these devils oppress us even more by letting these other nations come here and get high above thee, which is what the prophecy said. That's part of the curses. The stranger shall get high above thee. All right. Verse 20 in the NLT, and it says, on that day I will gather you together and bring you home again. Now, where's home? The land of Israel. After they get those fuckheads out of our land. Because that land's gonna get nuked first too. Before we get there, it gotta get purged of all that filth that's over there right now, defiling that land. It says, on that day I will gather you together and bring you home again. I will give you a good name and a name of distinction among all the nations of the earth. So it ain't gonna be no equality amongst the Israelites and everyone else. Y'all gonna be heathens, and we're gonna be the rulers. We gonna be the rulers of the earth. You're gonna be our subjects. We're gonna be the gods on earth. Thus saith Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. So call law YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI for that, man. Because it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day, and it's going to be a beautiful day forever. It's going to be once that transition happens, that's it. That's why the Lord said, "What? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, For soon the cup shall pass through unto thee. For surely the cup shall pass through unto thee. That's why you think Trump talk about, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it into heaven. Because you in your heaven already, devil. You in your heaven. This is your kingdom. But now the jig is up. Your kingdom is over. Oh, the earth. And it says, as I restore your fortunes before their very eyes, I, the Lord, has spoken. It says, I will restore your fortunes before their very eyes. So these other nations are going to see the come up of Israel. They're going to see the glory of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI through the Israelites. When Yahawah come back, he's going to glorify the elect. And then ultimately the whole nation of Israel. And we're going to be good. And all the nations are going to see that because it's going to take place on the earth. Before that happens, nukes got to fly. They got to implement a couple more things got to happen. But we getting there. We getting there. We getting there, man. So, with that, Lord willing, is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honor to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone. And peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.